Hello everyone, before we get into today's video, I'd like to share a couple of updates. Firstly, I'm excited to announce that I'll soon be starting Twitch live streams, and I'd really appreciate it if you could join me there. Secondly, let's talk about the current direction of the channel. We've reached 18,000 subscribers, and while the focus has been predominantly on building content, I feel as if we've explored the whole scene thoroughly. Moving forward, I plan to shift gears and explore a different variant of different kinds of Rust content. Although my wipe videos may not attract as many views, I find them much more enjoyable to create. Therefore, after today, I'll be taking a step back from building focused content. Not that I won't be doing it anymore, but just not as much. I hope you'll all continue to support me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you there. Without further ado guys, let's get into a base tour. Alrighty guys, before we build the base, we obviously need to go on a little tour. So starting at one of our 3 externals here, we can look at the upkeep of this guy. It's very cheap, about 700 metal frags and about 1,000 stone a day. These will be holding up our funnel section, which you guys will be seeing now, along with some of our shooting floor peaks. Coming onto here, we have some Patrico type peaks into compound. I don't have the little triangle placed here, but that's okay. These are amazing for when your compound is breached on either of these sides. It just gives amazing angles. This is obviously a furnace. That is for a furnace funnel. And obviously same angle on this side. It's going to give you a tight little angle to every side. It's really just used for behind these furnaces. Going further into this section, we have our Patrico peaks that lead in and around compound. When this furnace is broken, it gives full head glitch angles out past those walls behind there. I'll show you more what I mean here, but obviously a bedroom here, a door path through our funnel. Now you're wondering about this funnel section. These sections right here will have shotgun traps. So take your shotgun trap and placing it just like this. You are forcing them to peek a shotgun trap to move forward in the base. This is obviously mirrored on the other side here, the exact same thing. These auto turrets are also beautiful as they watch basically the entire funnel section. This only needs 3 auto turrets on this bottom section. However, doubling up is obviously absolutely amazing. So moving forward here, you will see this furnace section. This is a full furnace funnel, as you can kind of see here. You can't really get through this, which is just absolutely astounding, which it gives access to these furnaces obviously, and it's just funneled to increase the raid cost of the base. They're going to either have to pick blowing through these walls, blowing through the furnaces, blowing through the funnel. It's just going to make them take more rockets into the base. Alrighty guys, left will lead to our open core. It is symmetrical on all 3 sides. So on 2 of the sides, this double door is actually a wall, and on this side it leads to our starter unit. I like to use this first floor mainly just as depot boxes, junk loot, and just a starter unit. I'll usually throw all my prim or otherwise unwanted items down here, and it also starts off as a basic 2x1. Here's upkeep, 8,000 metal, 7,000 stone, and 50 high qual. That's the upkeep for practically the entire base. Obviously put your bags in here. This is our basic bog standard 2x1 starter. Do whatever with this space as you want, however. If you want to change this entire thing up to be more open, be my guest, it's all up to you. Alright, let's go up to the next level and get to our, what I'd call a mini open core. Now there are no core peaks into this, however the amount of box space in here is absolutely amazing. You can split up your loot, tons and tons, and it's just a ton of box space. You're never really going to run out, and that's really what I love about this area. Tier 3, I have a locker here and I have a research bench here just for utility item space. You can even fit 2 more boxes on each of these loot rooms to get 8 per if you'd like. And then obviously on these corners, even more loot to split around. Going up those jump ups yet again, we have a little bedroom area. We're just utilizing the kind of hallway space, if you would, for this bed and locker combo. Depot boxes underneath here, and then jumping up, I have a battery room right here, paired with our roof jump up. 3 auto turrets hold the entirety of roof and give these breach peak angles out and around compound. And then we have these, I wouldn't call these wide gap peaks, but they are funnel wall section peaks. Obviously I'm standing here to give you every angle, but you're not going to peek it from where I'm standing. You're rather going to peek it from the sides here, like this, up and around, like that. And then jumping up here, I want to show off this section a little more. This is the funnel wall section that I'm talking about before. The entire thing is just funneled around and is absolutely immaculate. And this little triangle here, is where the auto turrets are housed, which is, I think, beautiful. Also, the way I've set this up is you can jump up and onto a roof, and I have this ramp here that is used to then rotate down the compound very quickly, which is also nice for rotation. Alrighty guys, that about does it for the tour of the base. So if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment in the comment section down below, or join the Discord. The link is always in the description, and we can talk there. Alrighty guys, without further ado, let's get into a build. Alrighty guys, as a lot of you may know, I like to show the footprint beforehand to give you a better idea of what we're working with. So this inner high qual 2x2, or 2x1 rather, sorry, is where our TC is held and is our basic 2x1 starter. This is our funnel wall section on either side, along with our gatehouse modules. These triangles here are where our auto turrets are housed, and then obviously our externals with their disconnectables as seen. So be aware, I do use a little bit of build grade and other stuff in my videos just to kind of speed up the process just a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I also use a little symmetry in times where it is necessary, however, nothing too crazy as well. I try to show everything I can, but if you do have questions, join the Discord link in the description or ask a question down in the comment section. Starting off with the bog standard 2x1 starter. We'll do everything like this. Come to the outside and place a shelf. And then coming back into the interior and adding my boxes. You can fit 2 small boxes under tier 2s now. Don't know why they added this. Or rather reverted a change that was long gone. That is now totally possible, as you see there. Makes it great for duos in a small base like this. Alrighty, that's our 2x1 starter. I haven't min-maxed or anything, but perfect. Throw a garage door in here and we'll keep expanding. I'm going to place 3 triangles here to finish the inner core footprint, and then squares off of everything. Now come in here and just start walling it all in, adding a double door path, and capping off everything I can. I want to make sure to add shelves in these loot rooms, but you can obviously leave them open if you want to do mixing tables or something else as well. And then coming into the last section and adding our final little loot room. And personally, I like to make this a window. Now I'll do 2 double doors here, followed by garage doors on every interior spot. And now coming outside, we'll start with some of the symmetrical things. Alrighty, now that it's brighter outside and I can see everything more properly, as you can see, this is a triangle footprint with squares off the sides. So what I'm going to do here is turn on symmetry. That means when I build off these squares, it's going to build off of every side. So I'll show you what I mean here. Building 3 triangles off of the squares, you'll build this 3 triangles on every side. Then on these guys, I'm also going to build 2 triangles. These triangles I will honeycomb in, and I'll usually jump to the roof and not honeycomb, but upgrade the entire roof to sheet metal. Now I'm going to make our entrance modules. So, double door, window, window, and just more double doors. Oop, and making sure to leave that left side open like this. I'll add glass windows, a single door, and we're going to call it a day for now as we continue to expand. So I'm jumping up to here now. We can see that we want to continue our jump up pathing. I want to rotate this wall inwards like this, and then another jump up in frames throughout like this. Coming into what was our honeycomb on our first floor, we're going to turn this into a little loot room here, making sure to keep the walls rotated how I have them. Sealing this off and adding a window. We'll add boxes in here at any point we can. Capping this off above us, door frame. Now we're gonna add half walls here in the 3 middle sections. Capping that off and adding more half walls here for our little open core type loot rooms. We'll also then place lowered ramps, floor triangle, and now we're gonna wall in this entire section. Cap this off, and now you're gonna notice the height on this is not what I showed in the video. There's a reason for this, and it's super simple. Add these double door frames, a floor. This is an optional half wall you can add. I suggest adding it like this, and then floor triangles here. The reason we do this is to give us a pancake layer in between what will be our roof here and our semi-open core. This is just done to increase the raid cost in any sort of event. Adding boxes in here and a shelf. This is our basic open core done. We're gonna go make sure to keep adding to the door path as to not waste time. Garage doors in every spot per usual. Jumping up here, add another double door like this, and this would be my temporary exit throughout base, or to get out of base rather, just like that. Before then coming back through, sealing this off like this, and then adding 2 half walls here. These half walls are actually really, really important, so make sure to do them like that. We're going to add a shelf in between here with a jump up for capping this off. As you move this double door up to this next section then, like this. That is our roof jump up, or roof exit rather, whatever you'd like to call it. Now to give us some early game peaks and angles, just so we have something to play off of, let's make 3 half walls here, 3 windows, make sure to add this triangle here. I'm gonna upgrade it to sheet metal, and add 2 roof triangles. This is gonna give us just some basic breach peaks for outside of our base. They're nothing crazy, they're nothing special. They're just meant to give us something to play off of in the case of a very early game raid. Turrets here, and we're good to go. As you can actually see here, the entirety of the main base is actually complete. This is everything. The real bread and butter of this base comes from the funnel wall, so let's start on that. From every single door entrance, we're going to build a square and a triangle. I suggest upgrading this triangle to sheet metal and doing everything that I do here. Like this. This is where we're gonna have auto turrets go. I'm gonna place them right away, but in most cases you won't. Not right away at least, because you usually won't be doing this right away. Next, what we're gonna do is start to make our funnel wall section. So add a twig now, off of what was that honeycomb. We're gonna build a square and a triangle. Break that square and build 5 squares out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a triangle. Break our build out. I'll leave this temporarily. And build triangles back to base. Finally, with a square, and I'll break this triangle. And the reason I leave this triangle is to check the gapping. This gapping makes sense. That means we're good. Triangle, square, triangle. Then we can finish it off by adding 2 more triangles. Breaking all these guys, and adding triangles like that. That is the footprint we're working with. That is beautiful. That is perfect. Let's make our disconnectable. This is going to be a very basic one. I'll switch to stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. Leave the 4th one. I like to leave it as wood and then break these connections and then make your bog standard disconnectable. I don't want to switch between build grades as I find it a little annoying. This is the way I like to do it. If you know a bunkered variation of it, I suggest you do it though, as there's no reason not to bunker these things. There we go. And now connect it like so. There we go. Just show that it works. Add twig, you place this guy. Perfect, it works. There we go. All right, let's continue building. Add your windows in with the proper embrasures. Sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal, stone, sheet metal. Walling this in on either side. Double door frames, window, an exit. This can be a single door or a double door, it doesn't matter too much. And then coming to this section right here, we're going to add a wall, temporary half wall, upgrading the top one. Let me make sure I'm on stone instead of brick, apologies. And making what will be a peak out. I believe I have this on the right side. Yep. Same thing on this side. Just like this. I like to place my embrasures like this, as I believe it gives an easier peak for you, the peeker, but it is personal preference. This is now a bedroom. I'll usually put a double door here because it creates an airlock. And then a garage door in this spot. This is what the base looks like from an outside angle now. Obviously this didn't connect on some sides. Sanctuary's doing a little bug. It's all okay though. Now comes time to do the compound. The goal on this compound is to have the walls almost semi-interconnect right here like this, behind this triangle. So I do suggest practicing this on a build server and gauging this in between distance. That looks pretty good. This one's a little too far out. It won't be perfect every time, but this is pretty good. I'll even retry it a little bit right now. See if I remove that. Oh, that's pretty darn good. Okay, much better. Then what I suggest doing is adding a barricade on top here before placing our furnaces. Raise these guys up as tall as possible when placing them. That. Perfect. And then I will show you guys here the variance of this. You can either have the peak that goes out to here, so when the furnace is destroyed it shows this, or you can actually rotate this wall. Instead of doing a wall on this side, you can also do this. You can do it the opposite way, which gives, I guess, the opposite peak. Both peaks are actually really good, but it's which one you'd rather have more. This one gives a further away angle, so more of an offset, while the other one gives a closer. I'll show you kind of the variance of this. I do want to touch on this as it is good to have options. And this needs to be a small box, I do apologize. Different heighting. So either it's going to be behind this furnace, like here, and a peak over to here, we still have it, or just a peak like this. Just wanting to show the variance, as I know some people do like options on the weird things. Placing these triangles temporarily to place these metal barricades. And I'll remove them. If you'd like this peak here to be a Patrico, simply add in the triangle like this from the outside. I do apologize for not having that in the tour. I do see the error in my ways. And now what we'll do is we're going to add these barricades like this. And then double door frames, too high to start. Like this. This is for our shooting floor now. And then 2 roof triangles. One you're going to keep as stone and one is sheet metal. They need to be opposite grades so they don't make a conditional like this. They have to be opposite so it leaves this open. After placing these roof triangles, then come to the outside, or you can do it from literally right here, and place these 2 guys. And you can even do your roof triangles by simply walking up the ramp, how I do here, and placing them. The second one will be a little harder, but you step back more and it's easy. I'm trying to show my position the best I can. And then as you see, this is a super wide angle right now. So what you do is you grab double doors and swing them inwards like that to cover up that peak and make it tighter. as you can see there. Okay, next thing to touch on, windmill location before final upgrades, and everything else I can kind of add. Windmill location is actually super simple. You can just place them above these auto turrets, especially since there's only a 12 auto turret rule in the game right now. You don't really need your turret or your windmills to be producing maximum power, especially if you're not putting 8 turrets per battery. I actually prefer to do like 6 per battery, and that way I don't need my windmills as high, and thus I don't have raiders really trying to throw someone on top of this. Because right here, if someone is on top, like if I made this 2 stories higher, the turret is going to have trouble shooting them. They'll have somewhere to play from if they drop a guy up there, parachuting in or whatever nowadays. But this way right here, there really isn't a blind spot where they're not going to get shot by a turret. And that's the reason I like them a little lower and to split my batteries and how many turrets I have per up more. Obviously, our batteries go down here in these sections. I like windowing it off like this. This is what I like to do. Personal preference yet again, it's up to you. Alrighty, let's start going over all the upgrades that we can go for. Personally, I like to upgrade this entire kind of shaft all the way up like this. And then I like upgrading this honeycomb on every side all the way up. Making sure not to upgrade this guy here. Leave him as stone. Coming down into our funnel wall section, I like to upgrade these interior walls, as it's going to force raiders to kind of make decisions and take different pathings. It's just going to increase the raid cost very nicely by being in that section. Don't know if that was twig, but it's okay. Something you'll notice is that this is a conditional here. You might get stuck here at this point, and if you do, upgrade one of these walls, either A to HQM, or B, you have another solution if you have the building skin. If I can get to it. This will remove this conditional and make it really easy to walk through this section. No questions asked. Just be aware that's a very cheap fix to a common issue that a lot of bases now have. Coming into your interior, I want to upgrade this door to armored, and turning off my symmetry, I will kind of show you everything that I want to do. Everything in our core gets sheet metal. Make sure to use this area. Place boxes, bags, beds, mixing tables. Personal preference, guys. I'm going to place boxes here just for the sake of doing it. And okay. Upgrade anything and everything you can access to sheet metal. I'll come in here. I like to high qual this door here. And then I'll high qual these 2 iron foundations along with everything in this room. Like this. We're good. This wall is also amazing to high qual along with this triangle, and this triangle, and this triangle, and this triangle. Other than that, you're technically perfectly efficient. Coming further out and into the base, we'll jump up into our open core, making sure we're placing any remaining doors that may have been missed. Jumping up, we can upgrade this sheet metal wall and this sheet metal wall from this jump up area. And I will come through and just upgrade anything I have access to. I don't know how that came that grade. To sheet metal. If you haven't already, add your boxes in this section. What's beautiful about having these little box loot rooms in the corners of our semi-open core or open core, whatever you'd like to call it, is that you can window these off and raiders will get discouraged the more they see of this. If you have this split up between 3 ways, the cost between to get to all 3 is like 18 rockets. Anything to annoy the raiders, if you just split loot between these corners, your first 4 TC, you put loot higher in bedrooms or whatever you'd like, this base just gets expensive. Then again, any base gets expensive if you just split up your loot a little bit more, which I find absolutely beautiful. Down here in our core, I do like to throw our tier 3, or our open core, I do like to throw our tier 3 here instead of on first floor. I'll usually throw a locker and or a mixing table on these sections then. In this case, we'll be throwing a research table. Jumping up higher, I'm going to add my large boxes for depoting here, my locker, and a bed. This is just a nice respawn that gives you pretty quick access to roof. One on each side for a trio is very, very nice. Upgrade the entirety of your roof to sheet metal. This section right here and this half wall. This half wall is important as it's housing our battery right here. Very important. And then upgrade these triangles, and that is about it. Really, that's about it. Alrighty. Other than that, the last thing to talk about is turret location, and then that is it. Right now, I've actually only placed 6 auto turrets on this entirety of base. 3 roof, 3 compound. And as many of you might easily and more knowingly know, that's not what the current rate is. We have 12. So I suggest doubling up on compound, like so, and then coming up into open core with your last 3 and either placing them here, or more notably here. This is going to cancel all the rotation, and that's really what I care about. This will cancel any rotation from first to second. That'll stop them from going into open core. It will take any rotation coming from the top down, from third to second. And it'll also technically hold the entirety of your open core when these doors are open. Leaving them open can annoy the crap out of raiders, which is what I like. Anywhere really in this open core, you will get shot by a turret, and that's perfect. So that is all 12 turret locations. That was one thing I always want to touch on. I apologize if I haven't done that in the past. I really want to kind of show more attention to that, especially with the changes that have been made recently. So if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, join the Discord. The link is always in the description, or leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer anything there as well. So without further ado, guys, my name is Nine. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.